We are so excited about the new PheedLoop Go 2.0 app. I can see here. Perfect. Okay. Awesome. As the demo said, the new app is launching at the end of March. So, within the next couple weeks, we're super excited for the launch. That official launch date will be shared with everyone at the time. We're just doing some final tests, verifications, and making sure that it's perfect for when we're ready to launch and share it with everyone. Perfect. Yep, the QR code can be sent. We'll send the link to the page in the chat here, um, in just a moment. Awesome. All right. So just to kind of recap what was shared in the video, the biggest changes that you're going to see with this new version, which will be PheedLoop Go 2.0, are mostly UI changes. So it's mostly going to be about the look and the feel of the app, how you interact with it. And the design is intended to be seamless. So you might not even notice, it might not even feel like a huge change, and that's because it will feel more natural, more user-friendly, and more expected in terms of how you're interacting with that design. Now, in terms of the transition process, as soon as we launch in late March, that app will be called PheedLoop Go 2.0, and it will be launched in the Android and Apple app stores. During that time, there's going to be two different apps. So we'll have first PheedLoop Go 2.0, and that will be the new version, and all newly created events as of that launch date will be using PheedLoop Go 2.0 automatically. Any currently created events, so any existing events that you're already working on, all of those will continue to use PheedLoop Go with an exclamation mark, so that current version that we have, all the way up until July 1st. And then at that time, that app will be retired from the App Store. It'll be removed, and the PheedLoop Go 2.0 version will be changed to just PheedLoop Go. No exclamation mark, no 2.0. And all events will use that app moving forward. So I just kind of wanted to recap that timeline and transition process a little bit, but I know that surely there must be some questions, so I want to open up Q&A. Just before we do that, I wanted to share some resources and some support options if needed. So support at feedloop.com is where you can reach out if you'd like to upgrade your event early, so we can do that update early for you as soon as the launch date happens. And you can also reach out with any other questions that you have, maybe specific event questions or something that's related specifically to your account. Feel free to reach out there. I might not have the opportunity to answer all of those specifics today. And then we also have that, we'll share the link here for the QR code that was on screen. So that's a dedicated resource page to talk about the new app update and kind of everything related to that. So we'll post this video here, the demo video. We also have a list of FAQs there just to make sure that everything's in one place. So we'll share that in the chat as well. And then I also wanted to just link the our knowledge base collection. So that's essentially a collection of all of our different resources, our articles, our guides. I wanted to share that link as well. A lot of those questions, a lot of questions that you might have just relating to the app in general that maybe aren't necessarily related to the app update specifically, that would be the best place to go for those types of questions. So if it's maybe, how do I add this to the app? How do I do that to the app? And it's not necessarily a update question, again, just in the interest of time, those would be best directed either to support or through our general resources in that knowledge base that's shared. Awesome. Now I'm going to go to the Q&A questions, and as a reminder, please do send all of your questions in that specific Q&A section. We won't be monitoring questions that are sent in the chat. All right, so I see the first one come in here from Tyler. Session checking can no longer be done through the PheedLoop Go 2.0 app and strictly through the on-site app now. Yes, that is correct. That is correct. So we've decided to move session scanning, so session check-in, as well as ticket scanning to the PheedLoop Go to the PheedLoop onsite app, and that's just to keep all of those event organizer specific tasks together so that you can do that management through the PheedLoop onsite app and then the PheedLoop Go app, in this case, the PheedLoop Go 2.0, that's the version. That would just be kept for attendee specific items, so that attendee experience remains completely separate. The current version, so PheedLoop Go with the exclamation mark that everybody is currently using, that one does still have session check-in. You might have already seen a little pop-up message that just basically says it will be moving to the on-site app moving forward. So as soon as that transition is done, if you update to PheedLoop Go 2.0, that's when you will no longer have access to session check-in. Perfect. Awesome. So I have another one here from Virginia. Will lead capture scanning for exhibitors still be available in the app, or do they also need to use the on-site app? So lead capture for exhibitors will remain in PheedLoop Go 2.0 during the transition process. It will still remain there. Only ticket scanning and session check-in and all of those event organizer specific items, those will be moved to the on-site app. So I have it'll be the exact same experience for lead retrieval. All of the exhibitors, anyone that's listed as a manager or a staff for an exhibitor that does have lead retrieval, they'll see that in their menu item, and they will be able to just do their scanning exactly as they do now. Awesome. I have another one here from Tyler. If my event was created before April, will I still be able to use the Legacy app to do session check-ins? So yes, if your event was created before April, you will not have it will not be automatically upgraded or updated until July 1st. So up until July 1st, you will still have access to use PheedLoop Go with that exclamation mark, and you will still be able to do session check-in on the legacy version. It's only PheedLoop Go 2.0, so that new version. Awesome. Another one from Linda. If we created our event in January and have an event on May 23rd, am I correct that we can use the new version if we get in touch with the support team? Yep, that's absolutely right. If you would like to use the new version and your event has already been created and it falls between now and July, as soon as we launch that, you will be able to upgrade to the new version. Just reach out to support@feedloop.com and we'll be able to do that. The only consideration I want to mention is just typically we need to allow a couple weeks just for testing, and that's more on the organizer side, just to make sure that you can familiarize yourself with the new app and just not so much the new layout, but just some of those design changes before you're sharing it with your attendees. So feel free to reach out to support, and they can walk you through that process as soon as we officially launch at the end of March. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so I'm seeing one here about a white label app. So white label apps are a little bit different, and they all will be just a little bit unique because that app is specific to your account or your specific event. So many of our conference attendees, this one here is for Jessica. Many of our conference attendees are regulars and have the white label app from previous years. We'll do our best to communicate to everyone to delete the old app and download the new app. However, if they don't follow instructions, try to use the old app. Will they see any message upon logging in that instructs them to delete the old app? Yeah, so for white label apps as well, this does apply just to the regular PheedLoop Go 2.0 app. But as soon as your event is updated to the newer version, if they do try to access the event on the old version, they will see a pop-up message just letting them know to use the new version and directing them there to that new version as well. If it's a white label app and it's a container app, it might be a little different. So if you do have any further questions about this, I just recommend reaching out to support and they can look into exactly what the specifications around your app are. Um, Perfect. I see another one here. Will the app download buttons and event communications and announcements be switched to the new app or still linked to the old app? So this here depends on if you have been updated or not. So based on that transition timeline, if your event is already created right now and it's happening between now and July, it will still be on the old version. So this current version that you're using of PheedLoop Go, that's where everything will still point to for your event in all communications, announcements, everything. If you update it, and that's either by reaching out or you create a new event, or your event is after July 1st when the only app will be that new app, then it will direct to the new app. So everything is designed to be seamless and switch automatically um, based on which version you're using and if your event has been updated or not. Um, All right, I have another one here. I have an event in April and created the event before April. So is there a way I can use the new app instead of the legacy app? So, yes, you could. As soon as we launch the new app, you're able to reach out to us and have us update it for you. So, we can update you to the new version. The only thing to consider, like I'd mentioned, is just if you'll have enough time to test it in advance, just familiarize yourself with it. That amount of time is really up to you as the event organizer, depending on your needs. But typically, we just want to make sure that you'll have enough time to go in and review it, make sure that everything still looks okay before you use that new version and send it out to your attendees. So if you'd like to just reach out with the specific dates, feel free to reach out to support at feedloop.com. I have another one here. Have you corrected the drop down for multiple camera options in the legacy issue? I am not completely following this question or where specifically it's related to, if it's for scanning. So if you um so feel free to reach out to support at feedloop.com. You can email them with your question, maybe share a few more details about where specifically this was an issue for you in the past, and then we'd be happy to look into that and get you more information. Um, Perfect. All right. Just looking. All right. In the current app, the side menu had the ability to customize it with sponsor logos, one at the top and another at the bottom. Will this still be an option? Can we still customize the opening splash screen? Yes. So yes to both. You are still able to add a banner to the menu in the new version of the app. And like the demo video showed, the menu is now at the bottom of the app. And then it opens up from that bottom right corner. Up at the top of that menu, just like in the other one, you'll still have that banner option so that you can display any promotional material, maybe sponsor items. And then the splash screen as well, that is still an option. So you still have the ability to fully add that splash screen, customize the length of it as well. Perfect. All right, this one here is from Donna. What about past events and access to them? Will they transition to 2.0? Will attendees have to update their version after July 1st? So, yes, they will still have access to view their past events in FeedLoop Go 2.0. So the transition period will essentially allow seamless event access between both. So even if your event is updated, you will still be able to access it from the current version, right? So the legacy version, FeedLoop Go, you would still be able to see it and access it there. It just won't be the best experience. There will be a pop-up message directing you to the newer version just because that's what the organizer would have chosen if it was updated. After July 1st, once that transition becomes complete and we only have the one new version of the app called FeedLoop Go, you will still be able to see all of those past events and access that. So there shouldn't be any access issues during the transition process or after. Another great question, is there a cost to upgrade to the new version early? No, there is not. Upgrading early is really completely up to you. Like I've said before, it's just about being able to test that before you share it with your attendees, making sure you're familiar with it before you share it. But there is no cost, so feel free to reach out. As soon as we have that official launch date at the end of this month, we'll be able to upgrade anyone that is looking to upgrade early. All right, another one. Um, all right, I'm just seeing some repeated questions, so I'm just trying to find one that I haven't already covered. Awesome. All right, so this one here is from Maria. Will there be any changes for attendees to scan each other's information? So yes, this is a great question. Currently in PheedLoop Go, there is the option to do attendee scanning with that advanced networking power up. Within the new app, this has been changed a little bit. So previously that was done with the universal scanner. In PheedLoop Go 2.0, the universal scanner has been removed for simplicity. A lot of event organizers and attendees alike were getting really confused with what that was for. Some exhibitors were unintentionally scanning attendees with it. So that option has been removed just for clarity and simplicity reasons. And then within the attendees section there, you're able to favorite and create saves for any of the attendees that you've connected with or that you would like to share information with. Perfect. Another great question here. This one's from Kristen. Is PheedLoop Onsite app going to cost extra? So the PheedLoop Onsite app is a part of the on-site check-in power up. So if you do have that on-site check-in power up, which does allow for session scanning, then yes, there would be that cost there. But if you have already had access to session scanning in the past or doing badge printing, anything like that, that is the power up that you already would have been using. So that is, so yes, there's a cost, but it's something that is already needed to access those features. Great. Um, Perfect. Okay. If users from previous events still have the previous version installed and my event isn't until October, will the current app upgrade itself by normal App Store mechanisms? Yes, that's a great question, Alan. So throughout the transition process, when there's two apps, that's the part where just there's a little bit more concern that has to go into sharing which app and a lot of the software does handle that. We handle that on our side in terms of which communications are going out. But on July 1st, when we only have that one app moving forward, PheedLoop Go with the exclamation mark, the current version, will just be updated to the new version called PheedLoop Go with no exclamation mark. So they should automatically get that app update if they do have their automatic updates turned on for within their App Store accounts. That should be something that they already have. Um, all right, this one here is John, a new user. Welcome, John. Um, and our site for our June event should go live later this week. We probably won't roll out the app right away. Should we direct users to 2.0? So, since your event is already created, it sounds like you will not be using PheedLoop Go by default. You will still be on the current version, so the legacy version, PheedLoop Go with an exclamation mark. Um, so, no, you should not direct them to 2.0 unless you reach out to us to upgrade that event. So, if you'd like to upgrade it before you share the app with them, please just reach out to support and we can update that for you and then you'll be able to share your communications with them, and that would direct them in that case to 2.0. All right. Scanning. Just trying to look for that. Um, All right, I see another one here. If we have an event already created, and we haven't activated or worked on the app yet, would we use the new version or the old version? So you would be using the old version if the event is already created. So it's based on when the event itself was already created, not necessarily just the app specific portions within that event dashboard. So if it's already been created, you will not be updated automatically to it until July 1st. So if your event is before that and you'd like to upgrade early, feel free to reach out. Perfect. I see another one here from John. Is there an admin sign in? Nope. So you would be able to sign in the exact same way to the app as your attendees. You would just require to have an attendee profile in your event. So it works the same way as the current version. This is another great question. Will the on-site app have all the same features as 2.0, or will they need to have both apps? So for event organizers, both apps would be required if you'd like to have those attendee-specific features in 2.0. So any of the session schedule attendee list, if you'd like to experience it as an attendee as well, overviewing all of that, and then also do those admin-specific items like scanning, then both apps would be required. Mm, Perfect. Another one about scanning from Alessandra. Does that mean that only those registered as staff can participate? Oh, can scan participants in the app. Sorry. So yes, only those registered as staff. So either as a team member for the account overall or listed specifically as an on-site staff with permissions. So that's something that you can do in the dashboard. Typically, it's used for volunteers, maybe if you don't want to give them access to the dashboard, but you'd like them to have access to do scanning. That's something that you can do in the dashboard. We do have further information about on-site staff permissions in our knowledge base articles. Mm, what- Need to download. All right, sorry, I'm just trying to get caught up. A lot of duplicate questions here. I see another one about white labeling from Fitzgerald. I'll be white labeling, so will my event automatically be on the new app? Yes, all new white label apps are automatically going to be on the new version, so it'll be on that new architecture. But if you do have any further questions about your specific white label app, feel free to reach out to support and they can share more details. Um, All right, I have one from Mickey here. Can you explain the session check-in further with 2.0? We have attendees check in with a code on site for CEUs at the end of the session. So how would that work? Yeah, great question. So, the session check-in scanning that I'm referring to in the on-site app is specifically when an organizer or a volunteer would do session check-in scanning for their attendees. If you're doing any of the self-check-in options, so that's either attendees are scanning a QR code to check in, or they're typing in that text code to check in, or even clicking on the app, the check-in option under the session, that would remain the exact same. It is still a feature in 2.0, so they would have all of those same self-check-in options within the app. Mm, Graphics. I have another question here from Tyler. Do any of the event graphics get used on the app still, or are they all app-specific graphics, so like the main and the thumbnail? Um, I think I understand what you're asking, but please feel free to correct in the chat or reach out if it's not the answer that you were looking for. But all of the graphics from the app that you had in the app settings page in the dashboard, all of those would be carried over to your new event. The biggest difference here is that the event logo that you have set in the dashboard no longer appears on the home page of the app itself. So it will not The change there mostly was due to a lot of people did not actually want the logo there because they wanted to see the banner in full and fully customize that. So it just gives further customization options to the banner, knowing exactly what size it is. Nothing is covering it. And you can add that event logo there if you'd like. Awesome. I saw the thumbs up. Thanks, Tyler. Um, This one's from Bailey. We often link the event app landing page. When will those links be updated to 2.0? So as soon as your event is updated, it will automatically link to the new version. So if that's you creating a new event as of the launch date, those will automatically be directed to 2.0. But if you haven't yet updated your event, it will just continue to point to the current version, right up until you update it. And then all of the redirects and everything will be pointing towards the new version after you update. Mm, Okay, perfect. I have another one here. Does updating headshot and other attendee details in the app affect a speaker's profile? If they change their photo in the app, will it update the speaker headshot? Um, so this is in relation to, it looks like just updating. I believe this question is about how updating details kind of all relates. If you make any updates in the dashboard or in the app, those settings would carry back and vice versa. So everything will be linked, so you're able to make those changes. Anything that's currently living in the dashboard that is automatically connected to the app. So think of like your session, all of your different sessions, any, sponsor logos, anything like that. Those will still live in the dashboard and be shown in the app as expected. Nothing on that side is changing. It's mostly just how things are displayed on the app. Any profile. Awesome. I'm seeing another question here about how to log in to the app as a staff. Do they need to have an attendee profile? So yes, just as the current version does, anyone getting access to the app will need to have an attendee profile, and that includes the event organizers. So as long as they have an attendee profile, they'll be able to log into the app as expected. Um, you know, See another one here about the on-site app. So if we don't have on-site check-in power up, what app will the event organizers use? So if you don't have the on-site check-in power up, it would function the same way as now. So you wouldn't have access to those features. So that would be attendee scanning. Sorry, not attendee scanning. Session check-in scanning your attendees. So you wouldn't have access to that feature, and you wouldn't need the on-site app. You would still use the regular PheedLoop Go or PheedLoop Go 2.0 app for that attendee experience, just as you do now. I see one here from Maria. If we choose to upgrade to the new app and our event is after July, will past downloaded apps update automatically? Um, I'm not sure which specific apps are these white label apps. Um, if you do upgrade to the new app and your event is after July, it would just your app and your event would just be upgraded and you would be able to use um, the new feed loop version after July. So you can either reach out to us to have us upgrade it early if you want more time for testing and review, or you can just wait until that July 1st deadline when the app will automatically update, and then you'll have access to the new version there. All right, I see one here about gamification from Bailey. Just are there any changes being made? So no, there are no major changes to the functionality of gamification. There are a few UI updates just to make it cleaner, things that you wouldn't necessarily notice and go, oh wow, yeah, that's different. A lot of it is going to make the way that you use it feel a lot more natural, things that you would expect to be where you expect them to be. But all of the same functionality remains the same. It just feels a little better when you're using it. Um, all right, I'm just trying to find questions here. Um, so here I have currently, it doesn't look like the app sends notifications when someone writes in the lobby chat. Will the updated version send notifications when someone writes in the lobby chat? Um, so no, from my knowledge, that is not a function of the lobby chat. The lobby chat is intended more so to be like the chat that we have here in Zoom, where you're able to just kind of chat back and forth. It's not necessarily meant to be a specific group chat or a direct message. So if you are looking to get notified or create a specific area for, a specific topic or somewhere that you'd like to be notified, then a group chat or just specific direct messaging would be better. Um, all right, I'm seeing a lot of duplicate questions here, and I only have a couple more minutes. So I'm just gonna do a quick scan through. Um, while I'm scanning these questions, I'm gonna have my colleague Kathleen just resend the resources that we have. So that is the support at feedloop.com, where you can reach out to us with specific questions, and then also the resource page for the specific app update. And those will answer some of these questions. I'm just gonna go through. Uh, all right, another question here about the attendee badge scanner. If attendees cannot scan each other's badge, how will attendees get to the person's profile to favorite them? Would they just use the search bar? Um, yes, so currently the flow is searching for that attendee and then favoriting them that way. And that will provide you with that list of all of those attendees that you'd like to later connect with. So you can either do that by favoriting them or saving them. There's a feature for both so that you can quickly kind of reference that. Um, yes. Uh, it's okay. Online. I have another question here. When the new app is launched at the end of March, can you still view your old events on the online admin portal or are they deleted? So I believe you're referring to the dashboard here. All of those events, all of the past events would still be accessible in the dashboard. Those are kind of events, so it's more of a container, right? That's the event dashboard. That's the event as a whole, whereas this is just specifically an app update. So that one feature, right, the app, that's the only thing that would be updated. So you would still have access to everything and you shouldn't lose any of it throughout the transition process. It's designed to be as seamless as possible. Um, I have a question here about the on-site app. Will there be a video made or live presentation to go over the on-site app once it's launched? So the on-site app currently does already exist. We have tons of customers that already use it. If you've ever done any type of badge printing with us, that is something that also uses the on-site app. So there currently isn't a plan to launch or have any specific demo of it, but I can absolutely share feedback with our team and see if maybe we can add that to any of our resources. We do currently have some in our knowledge base collection, but that's a great piece of feedback, so I'll definitely bring it to the team. Thanks, Mickey. Um, I see another one here. And I think this will have to be the last one for today. I might have time for one more. Will the open event app links on email communications be updated automatically if you receive the email in April for an event in July? So if they open the app when your event is not already updated, so um, excuse me, let's say you send this out next month and you're still using the old version, it will direct people to the old version of the app because they might have already clicked it. The event, the communication has already been sent out. If you update it before then, as soon as we launch and you'd like to send it in April, then it will direct people to 2.0. So just make sure that if you are planning on using the new version for your actual event, you reach out to us and make sure that your event is updated to the version that you plan on using for that event date. Right. Um, Perfect. Okay. Will there be demo? Return to use. Hold up. Okay, I'm seeing here a couple about in the chat and not being able to see any of the resources. I unfortunately am not able um, to take any more questions today just due to time and the volume of people that I have here. But let me confirm this chat. It's possible that I asked Kathleen to do something that she does not have access to do right now. Um, all right, let me see here. Okay. So I have just resent it here, and I believe everyone should have access. So apologies to Kathleen there for asking her to do something that she was not able to do. I've just sent the email that you can reach out to us. That's if you want to update your event early, if you have any specific questions. That I either didn't have time to answer today, or maybe there's event specific, app specific, any white label questions, feel free to reach out there. I've also included the link for our resource page. This video here is going to be uploaded there. We have some FAQs and we will be periodically updating those FAQs just to keep all that information accessible to you. And then I've also linked the general knowledge base that we have, and that just has all of our different support options and resources. So it's a great place to look. If you do have any kind of general questions, maybe they're not specifically about the app update, that's a great place to start and to look. Um, all right. So I've gone a little bit over time, but thank you so much everyone for joining. I'm so happy to see that so many people were able to join and ask questions. Again, I apologize if I didn't get a chance to review all of them, but I'd be happy to have our team respond over email with any of those questions that you do have. We're super excited for this launch. It's a really big one for us. The entire team has worked incredibly hard. So we're really excited to share that with you in just a couple weeks. So thank you so much, everyone. I hope you have a great day, and I'll be looking out for any specific PheedLoop Go 2.0 emails. Thanks.